Good evening. Welcome. It is Sunday night, 8:30. This one, welcome to Code for Recovery, where we talk about recovery, sobriety, personal accountability. This is slowly evolving. Not much fun. It's a slow process. But today's, like I said, all gloves off, unscripted. Everything else I put is somewhat scripted and then built upon. This one's not. This has been 2 weeks. Well, happy belated Father's Day. So the last few weeks, usually I keep on every week. But we have Mother's Day and Memorial Day, and then Father's Day. So we took a little time in between because I wanted everybody to enjoy the time. And I hope everybody stayed sober and was strong enough with willpower. So this is, like I said, all gloves off today. Sometimes I'll do this, but today's everything, all gloves off. We're going to tackle a lot of stuff in a short amount of time. Because I got my cup of coffee, I got the pot roast finishing up, so smelling really good. If anybody wants the recipe, let me know. I'll fire it over. So I put a quote up there. We're always going to lead off with that, and then we're going to lead off with another one. It's the rough road ahead that leads to the heights of greatness. Greatness isn't being rich and powerful and big. Greatness is your individual goal of greatness. If your greatness is to be the best firefighter in the world and you want to work at being great at it, it's going to take time. If you want to be a great coach or a great fighter or a football, it takes time. And there's rough roads ahead. There's adversity. There's downfalls. There's challenges. That's what makes you great. It isn't the success of everything we do that makes us great. It is adversity and the challenges and sometimes the falls, that we push through that builds resilience, that makes us great, that makes us who we are. When I went to, we're going to get into this one next. Actually, let's do it now. So, rough roads ahead is what we encounter in our sobriety every day. Challenges, triggers, people testing us, throwing stuff back in our face. We all deal with it. How we handle it and rise to the occasion is what matters most. Out of the 88 laws of self mastery or self power, the one I'm reading, yeah, 88 laws of self. Number 39 stuck out the most. And we're going to use what we said in the beginning, the celestial and the fallen. And you can relate to this. Law 39. They face addiction. Stares at their demons. They know they whisper, but they do not listen. With them daily. They know they're never truly gone, and they control their hunger, or they control your hunger, your urges, and their poison. You replace them with purpose. You master yourself. That is the only way. The fallen denies the demons. They give in again and again. Just one more. Just tonight. Tomorrow I'll stop. One more escape. One more lie. They become a prisoner, forging in their own chains. Take that how you want it. This addiction right there, man, slaps you right in the face. This one just stuck the last 2 weeks. And no matter what I read ahead, this one, boom, hit hard. And again, it's the 88 Laws of Self-Mastery written by Alexander Matters. Hits all aspects in this book, and I love it. And I just read one a day. What we're going to talk about is a lot of stuff I've heard people talk about, run to. So I'm a very, how can I say, controversial person when it comes to rehab, sobriety. I'm very aggressive about it. Why? Because we were aggressive, again, as I said, day one, we were aggressive to get that fix. We were aggressive to get that drink, aggressive to get that high, whatever it is, whatever you drug addict, alcoholic, sex addict, gambler, whatever. We were aggressive about that. We put our jobs on the line. We put our families on the line. We put our health on the line. We didn't care. That's how aggressive we were. So why be, I hate the word compassionate towards yourself in recovery because I feel that's taken advantage and out of context. I say more of an understanding. Have an understanding, but accept who you are at this point. Accept that we have a problem. I don't believe in being compassionate on myself. In my book, I don't believe in that because we got to tackle this and we got to push ourselves. We pushed our limit to some where we're having kidney failure, liver failure, pancreatic stuff, cancers. We didn't care about that. So I say take that same mindset and attack this very aggressive. You got to. If you lollygag and diddle around, to me, you're not taking it serious. But you got to be serious. And I learned this at the Hog. A lot of them were be compassionate, and others were nah, tackle this head on, take it, boom, own it, and overcome it. So what we're going to talk about is a buddy of mine sent me this quote. It stuck pretty deep. Where is it? Okay. No, that's not it. That's the American flag. Here we go. It's actually pretty sense. Relapse is not part of recovery. It is lack of it. Ooh, there we go. We're gonna anger some people now. Let's read it again. Let's read this again. Here we go. Relapse is not part of recovery. It is lack of it. I want you to think about that. I don't accept, when I came out, everybody, when I'm at the Hog, there's people that are 3, 4, 5, relapse. And the first thing I've always heard them say is, oh, relapse is guaranteed going to happen. Maybe for you, but for others, no. Let's name off some people who's been sober. Famous people, if you want to know. Sir Anthony Hopkins. He's been sober 50 years now. No relapse. Tom Hardy, Bane. I think they said he's 10, 11 years sober now. Here you go. Most biggest name of them all, Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man. 20 years now, something like that, close. I'm not saying none of them has ever had the edge or the urge to want to say, hey, one more. Let me do this. But for what? To throw away everything they worked their heart off? And that's what you got to look at. We lost everything, or damn near lost everything, due to our addiction. And that wasn't, hold on, let me back it up. Due to your choice to continue and keep going. Addiction's addiction. And we are powerless to alcohol or narcotics or whatever. We're powerless, but we are powerful over our addiction. We have choices. Relapse is a choice. It don't have to be that it's going to happen. If you let yourself think that, oh, it's going to happen, eventually you're going to do it anyway. And then you're going to happen. And then you're going to happen. Look, we all make choices. Relapse is a choice. We talked about on the root a couple weeks ago. What is the root cause of your drinking? A lot of it are triggers. We get triggered, we result to a reaction. I will say so here you go, response and reaction. Response is thoughtful, is thought out, careful decision. That usually when you think it out, you're pros and cons immediately. And you're going to make the best choice to rise above. Adversity isn't always in front of us. Adversity is everyday challenges that we encounter as well. Do we overcome these triggers, or do we submit to them and give in? No, response is simple. If I do this, this will happen. Is this going to be worth it? No, reaction is instinctual, emotional. And I firmly believe relapse is an emotional. It's not a response. It's reaction. But we have choices to make. Let's talk about dichotomy of control. What we can control here or internal, we cannot control external. Kick that out the window. We have no control over that. But we do have a choice to pick back up or rise to the occasion and do better. So to me, and when you relapse, you haven't fully accepted that you're an alcoholic, or you haven't really confronted the root of why you drink, the reason why. And you're going to relapse, and you're going to relapse. You haven't done 100%. You're still putting your foot in the pool and testing it. There is no reason to relapse, people. It is hard. As an addict, it is hard. We see stuff, we smell it, we see other people drinking, we think, man, they're having a blast, but look where we're at. We cannot handle it. We can't. And the quicker you accept that we can no longer touch it, we don't need it, the less chances, all honesty, you're going to have to even think about it. You're just going to go about your day. So relapse is a choice. You can either do it or not do it. As simple as that, man. Everybody makes recovering sobriety all difficult, hard. It's not difficult. It's as easy as you make it or as hard as you make it. And it's based off of choices. Good choices, bad choices, there is no in between. A lot of times people say there is gray area for stuff. The older I get, the more I'm realizing, yeah, there is. But when it comes to sobriety or addiction, there is no middle ground. People always, oh, I'm not an addict. I got it controlled. I was abstinent for 3 months, and then I was sober for 2 months, and then I just, if you know deep inside that little Jiminy the Cricket, don't do it, Pinocchio, don't do it. That's your Jiminy the Cricket, your conscience telling you, don't do it, don't do it. Bush, there you go. You just pissed everything away. And then what happens? I feel bad. Look, I don't feel bad for people who relapse. That is your choice. I don't. It is your decision. It is your choice. The only thing I could do is say, pick yourself up, learn from it, don't do it again. But the choice is yours. It's like when you tell a kid, don't touch a hot stove, and they don't listen, and they touch it anyway. All right, yeah, we're going to bandage up your burn. I don't feel bad. You don't listen. We have choices, and we're all grown adults here. We've been through rehab. We've been through recovery. And there are people out there who you could look to as positive role models. And I'm sure if you look it up, they'll have their stories out there. They'll tell how they did it. Go to your AA group. Now, there's another thing. AA is a tool. It is a tool. And some people, they do go because it does help them. And I admire that. But again, it is a tool, just like recovery, just like therapy. It is a tool. They are giving you the tools and the stories to listen to. If you read the big book and then you listen to other people's stories, you're going to find they're very closely related. So a lot of times I don't read the big book. I'll just go rehab and listen firsthand experience. It's not rehab, AA. Or I'll listen to TED Talks, or I go to the gym, and believe it or not, there's a lot of people that go to the gym that I didn't know were in rehab. But they all feel the same, or AA. I know one guy, retired post office worker, and he was an 82nd grunt. I call him Pops. But he's been sober 30 years now, never looked back at it. Why? Because he knows that choice would end bad. We all know, because we go to AA, we've been in that group or recovery, whatever, the hog or whatever. And what do they always say? One thing in common: the choice is inevitably yours. Door's always open. You fall off, go back. But I've heard people in the hog, I hate it. I hate coming back. I'm tired. Then why keep making that choice? If they're giving you the tools, they're handing you the ball. They're giving you the tools. And yet people keep making relapse. Like I just told you, relapse to me is unacceptable. That's just to me. That means I failed. I didn't listen. I dropped the ball. And to me, when you're going through sobriety, you got to hold yourself above every day. You're improving who you were the day before. It's you again. Like I said in there, you are responsible for. I've heard so many people blame AA for their relapse. They failed me. No, nobody fails anybody but you. I've been to therapy, don't work. What the hell? Because you don't want to listen to let it work. You are still resisting and not accepting that you're an alcoholic or an addict, anything. The choices always come down to you. Like I said, this is going to be all gloves off, man. I believe people sometimes use AA as a crutch, or they don't put 100% into it. It don't work for me. Why don't it? Well, it's just a bunch of alcohol. Well, hello, what do you think you are? People come up with excuses. AA isn't really, they don't have a real format. Um, it's experienced. And again, none of us grew up wanting to be a part of AA and live that life. But in this case, those people that's been sober 30, 20, 30 years plus, they did it. They're doing it still. Pick their brains, man. Like, you're there to learn and grow. And there are stories you could pull from. And some stories don't relate to you, but still pay attention because you can find somebody it could relate to. When you go to your therapy, your group sessions, or your one-on-ones or whatever, take a notebook. A lot of people, I don't want to read. A lot of knowledge is in books. You got to go outside of and start. You got to go outside of your old habits. You got to leave that old you behind. We talked about that. We haven't finished that series yet, but we will. In order for you to progress and move forward and live a good life, which I know we all can, we have the ability to, you got to put that old shit behind you, man. You got to make that decision and that choice. We talked about looking in the mirror. All these are there for a reason. But the first thing I'm going to tell you is accept. You got to accept we are an alcoholic. We got to accept we have a problem, that we are powerless, that we are weak. And the choice is yours. It's always been up to you to move forward, step by step. Again, the 12 steps are there. So I think NA has like 20 or 30 something. I don't even know. They got a lot more. But the steps are there. You can even break down the steps. But you got to put the work into it. And that's what that means. A lot of us, we're afraid of taking on adversity. And that adversity is us. We're afraid of we talked about what loneliness and being alone is. Go back and listen. We talked about that. And AA, they do go over that. When I was in the Hog, they went over all of that. And there's key things that stuck out that I wrote down. But one of the major things is you are responsible for you, nobody else. I've heard people blame their significant others. They do this, they do that, they don't understand, and they're on me because they haven't seen you putting the effort forward and growing. We have the ability to be better than who we were yesterday. It's like I like to say, when I'm competing, I'm not competing against other people. I'm competing against myself, who I could be, who I want to be, and who I will be. I'm not the same person as I was, and it takes time because there's still stuff that, no matter what, it's a step. We can't attack everything at once. We got to attack and make little by little, mission after mission. Me, I still have a little bit of problems with anger outbursts. I'm getting better, Well, that's my next. And the reason why, I'll be honest, when I used to get angry when I was drinking, I'd get mad and I'd go drink instead of having to confront that and then reflect upon it and then try to and then do better. I don't like saying I'm going to try. It means you got to reformat your words. I will do better. And that means being responsible for what you do, your choices. Again, relapse to me, it shouldn't exist. Does it happen time to time with people? Yes. When you're continuously relapsing and you're not understanding why, step back, look inside. And you're going to realize that you should never have to relapse if you approach it. Most of it is the root or it's triggers we haven't confronted yet. If there's a trigger, I tell everybody, journal. Do a trigger month. We'll start off with a week. Do a trigger week. Write down a journal. Triggers for the week. Monday. Journal it. How did you react? Did you immediately go and drink? Well, you got to step back and confront that trigger and just say, that ain't me no more. I could do better. And then you see after a week when you chain it. Boom, 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 boom. It's going to become a self-challenge to yourself. I'm not going to let that happen. I'm not one day at a So the one day at a time, one step out of a time, isn't necessarily for drinking. It's also for other things going on in life. That to me is the more I understand and read about AA and do research, we see it for just drinking. But it goes much deeper than that. If you look at it from a spiritual side or a philosophical, whatever your higher power is, there's wisdom that they're talking about, and it's open to information. But relapsing, I feel people use that more and more as a reason to want to drink again. Oh, I relapsed. Why? And then nonchalant. I think, and then they want to go back and, like I said, let me sober up. Oh, I'm going to relapse. No, relapsing should be not on the table. It should be non-existent. You should have your head clear and have a journal, guys, girls. Have a journal. Every day is an adversity. Teaches you and gives you the tools. Your therapist will give you the tools. How you apply them, or if you decide to apply them, is entirely up to you. But stop. I've been there. Everybody says immediately. Why do you blame others for your failure? Your failure comes from you. Why do you blame others for your shortcomings? Why do you blame others for why you became an alcoholic? You chose to. We've talked about PTSD. We've talked about emotion, all kinds of stuff. How we handle it is ultimately on our decision. But there's always a way back. But if you keep making bad decisions, are you truly learning? When you make a bad decision, we tell our kids, if you make a bad decision, accept that decision, learn, okay, so growing up, okay, we've all been there. Why'd you get a spanking? I did this, and this. Okay. Well, what did you learn? My family always said that after they whooped me. What did you learn? And they made me tell them. I am grateful for that. And that's how you have to tell yourself. I dropped the ball. I'm not going to no more, but why did I? And you start slowing it down and you start responding accordingly. It is not easy to do. It takes what we call self-discipline, resiliency. You got to have the discipline to do this. Sobriety is all discipline, guys, girls. It's not easy, but it's not difficult. It's about self-discipline, finding new ways to live a healthy life. There's people out there who I've talked to before who used to be good at playing guitar and they fell off. Now they're picking it back up. There's people out there who love fishing. And actually, they even picked up fishing, and that's their new thing. Um, there's people out there that just like bird watching. It's the littlest things because we don't realize what we appreciate the most. This is why it's also important to have a gratitude journal. What are you grateful for? Find out what you loved to do. I hear people, I love painting, but I'm not good at it. Well, why ain't you? If you could put all that focus and that energy into something that you have an interest in, you're going to excel at it, and that's going to be your new thing. Um, you got people that love collecting coins and stamps and the love of baseball cards. I mean, the stuff that we grew up doing, that we love doing. You have people who love working on cars and building. There's so much out there in the world. But you got to understand that you got to make that change. And that change is starting with accepting there's no reason to relapse, none whatsoever. I personally believe that. I believe there is no reason to relapse. And here's a challenge. Like, when you hit a trigger, I challenge you, write it down. Look at it, study it. Don't let it beat you up. Excuse me. You can overcome that. Addiction and recovery and sobriety and coming off of that is hard because we got to reevaluate our life. Everybody who goes to the rehab centers, whatever ones you go to, don't just go there like it's a vacation or a punishment from your job or from the court. Look at it as the ability to rediscover yourself. When I was there, we did a lot of chord. I haven't done any in a while. The paracord stuff. It was relaxing actually, but I also fell in love with reading again. And just meditating as much as I can. I fell back in love with fitness. So you're going to find out what you were good at before, and you might fall back in love with it. But you got to start off with a journal. And I write that down in the journal, that quote I just said, or something for yourself. Failure is unacceptable, or quitting is unacceptable. Whatever is going to motivate you, relapse is unacceptable, or whatever mantra you want to write down and recite to yourself every day. It helps. Remember, a craving only goes for 15 minutes. After that, it becomes an obsession, and then it becomes an impulsive decision, a reaction. If you can control that for 15 minutes and then not think about it and find something different to do, you're off to a great start. It's not easy because I'll be honest, there's times, like I said, when I hit a tough day, old me, I want books. I said this the first day. Order yourself like 3 or 4 big books. You don't have to read them. Put them where you used to know where you would sit down and have a drink, or where the drinking or the bottle was, or whatever. I have mine in the kitchen, and I have another on the bookcase. Right when I walk out of my bedroom, boom, it's right there. When I will go right in the kitchen, boom, it's right there. Constant reminder. I'm not that person no more. And you got to tell yourself that. I am not that person no more. I am better than that. The decision and how we evolve is entirely up to you by your choices. So I want you to scratch relapse. Anybody who says, man, relapse happens, say, no, it won't. And it's not being arrogant. It's not being ignorant. It's being confident and strong. But you have to have conviction. You just can't recite the words and not believe them. You got to have faith in yourself. And discipline is strength, man. There should be I see so many people relapsing after another, in and out of rehabs, and then, family, they lose everything. And that's not good because of your choices. I didn't like going to the hog. Make great connections. Loved a lot of people. Still, I don't ever want to go back because I don't like being away from my family. And that slapped right into me. You know, if you go to rehab and you're sitting in a room by yourself with a handful of channels, a couple books to read, they're doing that for a reason, to teach you to reflect on yourself and think, and really put into it. You get out of sobriety for what you put in. If you're not putting 100% in, you're not going to get 100%. When you go to rehab, it is your choice to whether you're going to be all in or halfway in or a quarter of the toe in, touching the water. You can't do that. There should be no reason why choices are being the same choices over and over. It is your decision. It's not other people's. If you're hanging out with those people still, don't hang out with them. Find new friends. It's all simple decisions. What is holding you back is fear of change. Fear's garbage when it comes to that. You cannot be fearful. You got to be, this is the new me. There's nothing to be afraid of. I can't do this. When I run in adversity, I'm going to step back, analyze it, and break it down. I'm going to respond accordingly. And there's a saying, if it ain't going to affect you the next day or the week or a year from now, then it's not important. We cannot control what is in the external world. We can only control what's inside, our responses, how we respond or react. If you choose to react, that is emotional. We have control over our thoughts and our emotions. You could do this. Start telling you, look in the mirror, say relapsing is not an option. You never have to relapse. Again, there are great people out there that's never relapsed. And if you don't think about it, you don't dwell on it, you're not. Chances are you're going to find something else to occupy that time. If you're at home and you're like, man, I'm watching a good movie, this is when I used to have red wine or a beer, scratch that, throw that out. Self-awareness, right? That's the first step to not relapse. You know, there are times where, we can't, we had a nice dinner and menu. I'm saying, don't think about it. Enjoy the dinner, because as alcoholics, we went from eating, scratching it, and then downing our dinner, and not really enjoying the food. If you're going for a walk, man, I can use a cold iced tea. Swap out that. Have water in your hand. Water, you need to have water because you hydrate you. I'm just saying. If you feel that urge, because addiction does rise, you feel that urge. Most of it is what? Thought. Think about it, you're going to want it. If you become self-aware, mindful, and you scratch that thought to something different, that's how you're going to overcome your relapse. You don't need a scientist or a doctor to tell you that. It's just changing your thoughts, changing your old habits for new habits. Relapse is not an option. AA is not a crutch. AA is but a tool. There are some people in there who will even point out, well, this worked for me, but you may have to find what works for you. A lot of times I pull from different people and apply it. My sponsor even said this. I see my sponsor at the gym all the time. And I check in. That's when I check in. When I was falling off, when I used to get into heated arguments, I would want to drink. That's how I resolved it, because I didn't want to face it. And he said this. You just want it. And he said this, the decision is yours. You want to piss everything away? Go have a drink. Because come tomorrow, you're going to be back at step one and you're going to be miserable. And that sunk in. Because I go for a walk, time it, take a dog out, 10 minutes to get ready, No, 8 to 10 minutes to get ready, 3 minutes to get rounded up, leashed up downstairs, 2 minutes, a minute and a half, 2 minutes to get to the driveway. That's gone. It's 15 minutes total. Might as well go for a walk, clear my mind. So time it. Recognize the urge. You find something else to do and you'll overcome that relapse. So responsibility is yours. And this is why I said all gloves off today. Because responsibility is always up to you. You have a choice. You want to relapse? Make that choice to drink. You want to rise above and don't. It's self-discipline. I challenge everybody because there's a time of coming out of rehab. Yes, when I had an urge to drink, I would go to AA. But I don't want to use it as a crutch. I want to be self-sufficient. What if you're out camping and something triggers you? There ain't nothing around. You may not have reception. You're out on vacation. Something triggers you. Some people go find that immediate group. I want to be self-sufficient. And I challenge everybody out there, the longer you're sober, start being self-sufficient. I'm not saying don't go to meetings. Still go. But start learning to apply the tools that you are gaining. Otherwise, you're going to be sad to say, and this is how I view it. When you become so reliable on AA, what does that become? You're becoming reliable on something to fix something. And what is that? Let's think about that. When you could take the tools and be self-sufficient, you're off to a great start. And yes, like I said, I don't mind going to AA and checking in and giving my story and what works for me and how I've been doing. That's great because you're going to reach out to people. When people see that you are truly self-sufficient and you can operate, they're going to come to you. And it's a great feeling. But you got to have that confidence that you can do this. If you don't have the confidence and you're not achieving that confidence, you're going to relapse. And there's no reason to, man. If you go to AA and you really listen, there's people that say there is no reason to relapse. And they stress that. Learn from their stories. Understand this quote I just said. We can rise above it, and we will rise above it. We are powerless to our whatever it is, alcohol, narcotics, sex, whatever your addiction is. We are powerless to that. But we are powerful over our addiction, meaning we have control over it. It's just sometimes, it is hard. I'm not going to lie. There's times where it is hard to be like, man, that's just so much easier. But what will that accomplish? Nothing. Let's just set us back. And I'm proud to almost be a year sober. And like I said, there have been times where I'm like, damn, I'm jealous. These people could just have 2 or 3 beers and call it a day and enjoy their, water the rest of the day. And we can't do that. We can't. It's a wrap. We know that. So why risk it? Why challenge it? Why put that to the test of I got control over it, and then now you're on a downward spiral, back to square one. I forgot the Navy SEALs. I have to find it. The next time I'm on, I'll find this motivational guy, speaker. I love it. And he said, what did he say? If you're tired of starting over, then stop starting over. He said it best right there. If you're tired of starting over, then stop starting over. The option is yours. It's always been our choice to rise above and move forward, be better than we were the day before, or continue the cycle of insanity. I think the definition is over and over and looking for and expecting different results. It's insanity. You're going to keep drinking, stopping and think you got control over and expecting to do. It ain't going to happen. It's insanity. Scratch that. I'm going to lose all my friends. What friends? One more, man. You got this. We got you. No. Get rid of them. Make new ones. They got sober groups out there, sober hangouts for people like us all the time. Pick up a new hobby. Listen, go fishing. There's a ton of group. You don't necessarily have to go drink and fish. That's just, to me, fishing is more like the calmness, the ability to think and just enjoy life. Heck, I know guys who go and just do competitive video gaming. Like I said, there's groups out there for everything, and a lot of them they don't drink. A lot of them are sober groups. You got people who go nature hiking, whitewater rafting. You got some that are just they like games. There's so much out there. The choice is yours and always will be. You got to stop blaming others for why you keep setting yourself back. You got to blame yourself. You have to take that responsibility and accept it. If you accept that you are an addict, an alcoholic, or whatever, 100% accept it, you're off to a good start. So this was all gloves off today. The main goal here was saying everything starts with you. You want to recover and be sober, it starts with you. You do it for you. I always use a pond effect. Starts here and it ripples out. It's fact. You start walking a good path. Yes, we're going to have bumps along the way. Yes, we're going to have adversity. Yes, we're going to be having people, you're still this, you're still that, and people's opinions. And that's the adversity that, actually, honestly, I'm going to be crazy. People may think I'm crazy. I look forward to that because it gives me a challenge to rise above. And that's how we got to view every day of our life. It's a challenge. And there's some days where life's going to be like today is going to be a chill day. And it's amazing, but it's always a calm before the storm. Life ain't never going to make it peaches and cream and rainbow and unicorns for you. There's going to be some storms along the way. But what comes from rain? Life. Green. The flowers, the food you eat. Out of that thunderstorms and that rain makes you stronger. That's how you got to look at it. You got to want it. And when you want sobriety, you want to be sober, you want to be strong, it's going to change your whole perception. But the first thing is stop blaming others. Change your life, change your mind, change your views. You change you. And there's a thing where people always say, and I hate it, tigers don't change their stripes, or leopards don't change their spots, or zebras don't change their... No, you know what? But we're human. We're animals. The people who say that never change themselves and are trying to make you feel like everything is... you're screwed up to make them feel good. I think that's narcissistic behavior or something. Not a doctor. Don't let that get to you. Rise above it. You're right. They can't. I'm human. I can change. I can evolve. I can grow. And you know what? Throw them to the curb, bro. Throw them. They're gone. You are responsible for you. Do not let people bring you down. Do not blame other people. You got to raise yourself up, and you've got to accept what you did. Once you do that, I'm telling you, relapse ain't even on the mind. AA is a tool to get you there. It's like your car. You're filling up the gas, but you're the navigator. You're the driver. You're in the steering wheel. You got to know where you're going. You break down, there's flares. You know what? Signal for help. There's nothing wrong with that. Ask for help. Helping is good. Call somebody up. Hey, I'm having a tough time. I just need somebody to talk to for 15 minutes. What do you want to talk about? I don't care. Let's talk about the football game or whatever you want to talk about. Just keep me busy for 15 minutes. Sooner or later, they're going to wean off of that. And you're going to be able to handle it. It's a beautiful thing. But you've got to realize relapse is not an option. It's a choice. You fall back, get tired of falling back, stop falling back. Stop stepping back. Continue to move forward. Respond. Don't react. Journal. And enjoy the journey. It's a beautiful journey, and each adversity, each bump makes you stronger. And the people will see the resiliency that you are developing, and they will start coming to you. And you know what? That's cool, because now you're being looked up at. People are looking up at you. They're respecting you. You don't want to ruin that. You don't want to piss that away. Don't. It's a beautiful thing. So that's my take today. Is all gloves off today. Again, we'll 88 Laws of Self-Mastery. I highly recommend it. Everybody enjoy your night. Enjoy the beautiful weather. I will be on next Sunday. I love you all. Angel, you hungry?